welcome back to KAMMA. I'm Khalil Deal.
I'm Andio.
And we are KAMMA, about to talk about UFC 312 taking place in Australia. It's Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland Part 2. And we're going to talk about our early predictions for the prelims and give you our predictions and breakdowns. So we're starting off with the first fight in the prelims. We got Hyun Sung Park against, this name is super hard to pronounce, but we'll go with Tumen Demberel. We got Kilian Salkild against Anshul Jubli, Kevin Jousset against Jonathan Mikalev, Cody Steele against Rong Zhu, Alexandre Topuria against Colby Thickness, Cody Wang against Bruna Brazil, Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshev, and the main event of the prelims is Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. So we're going to get right into it with the first fight. We got Hyun Sung Park against Niam Jargal Tumendemberel. Andy O, who you got in this one?
All right, so there's only one way to go after my 11-1 week last week.
10-1, 10-1.
Sorry, 10-1, and that's just to build on it, right? So let's get going here and get another awesome week. So this one's almost a toss-up for me, but I'm going to have to lean slightly towards Hyung Sun Park over Niamjaral Temendemberal, because I think he's a bit faster, and I think here Temendemberal is more of the grappler. Would you say? Would you?
Actually, no. You'll see what I make when I talk about it after.
Okay, because I do think the takedowns that Temendemberal is going to try, the Hyung Sung Park is going to be able to stuff him. And if he does get taken down, he's going to be able to get up because he gets up pretty fast. And what Temendemberal does have is some power. So I think in this one, speed will kill in the end. I think Hyung Sung Park will end up with more volume, and he's going to be able to avoid the power of Temendemberal and come away with a decision.
Nice one, man. Yeah, so shout out to you for last week, 10-1. Amazing on the predictions. I went 8-3, so we're still doing pretty good. Let's see if we can continue it for UFC 312 here. So yeah, I watched the fight with Niam Jargal Tumendemberel, and I watched the fight against Topnol Q-Ram. Now that fight, I watched it, man, and that fight, first of all, he won by split decision, which I think was bullshit. I thought the other guy won. The other guy took him down all kinds of times in that fight, had him on the ground, was on top of him a bunch of times, took him down. There was even one point, you could watch the fight on YouTube, it's there. There was even a part where Niam Jargal tried to grab Topnol and tried to trip him to take him down, but instead landed on his back. The guy fell on top of him. That's how pathetic his takedown was. And the other guy ended up on top of him. Somehow, some way.
But he tries for those takedowns, though, right?
He does try for takedowns, but he's not that good at it.
No.
He's not that good a grappler, I find.
That's right. The thing I forgot to mention here is that Sung Park has a win here recently. His last win here is against Shannon Ross. So I don't know if that's even a good thing to have on your record that you're able to beat Shannon Ross. But anyway, I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, no, but let me tell you that Niam Jargal Tumendemberel is not that great, I don't find. I was not impressed with his fights. The fight against Carlos Hernandez, he was taking huge shots from Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez was able to take him down. His takedown defense is not that good. Like I said, a guy from Road to UFC, Topnol Q-Ram, you could watch that fight, took him down several times, and so did Carlos Hernandez. He takes shots. He's not that really good defensively. I'm going for Hyung Sung Park. Love this guy. He's really, really good. I watched a few fights with this guy on the road to UFC. Also, the fight against Seung Guk Choi in the UFC and against Shannon Ross. He's very, very fast. He's strong. He's dynamic. Very athletic. He's got very good inside leg kicks. Got good outside leg kicks as well. He's very good at takedowns. He comes at you. He grabs you in the clinch. Holds you, and then he picks you up and slams you down. I've seen him do that several times in fights. Gets on top of you. I think he's the better grappler out of the two. He's got good ground and pound when he does get on top, and he also goes for submissions. So once he's on top of you, he tries for submissions. He tries to either get you in a arm triangle or he'll try to take your back. So a lot of times I've seen him grab guys, smash them on the ground, then right away get on the back and try to go for the rear naked choke. So I think he's very, very good. His skills are really better than the Niam Dragal. I'm going for Hyung Sung Park. As you can see here in the graph, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions, 1 decision. He's never lost. Tumen Burrell, well, he's lost by decision, but he's got 2 knockouts, 5 submissions. Both of these guys are good at subs. I think that maybe Tumen Burrell is a little bit better with jiu-jitsu, but Hyung Sung Park is just the better grappler and wrestler I find in this
No,
one.
I wouldn't say that even, but yeah.
From what I watched, I think I like Hyung Sung Park better as far as the way I like the way he gets his takedowns, and I like the way he grapples better. So I
That
like
fight
Hyung Sung Park.
that fight against Guk Choi was not bad either.
Yeah, I saw that fight as well. Like I said, I think he's very fast and dynamic. I like the way he fights. All right, so we're in agreement with Hyung Sung Park. I got him winning by KO or submission in this one. And let's move on up to the next fight of the prelims here. We got Keelan Salkild against Anshul Jubli. I got to go with Keelan Salkild in this one, man. I watched a good fight with him against, let me tell you right now who it was. It was against Blake Donnelly. In that fight, he finished him in the first round. Donnelly came at him. They threw some punches. He countered one of them, hit him with an overhand right, knocked him right out cold. So he's got good knockout power. Keelan Salkild. Also saw the fight against Don Marfan. Now, the fight against Don Marfan, he was losing that fight. He was actually on the ground. Don Marfan was on top of him, was taking him down several times in that fight. At one point, he got on top of him, and Keelan from bottom was able to tried to latch a triangle, and was throwing subs from the ground. So he was literally facing adversity, and he was on the ground, but still managed to throw up submissions. Almost got the submission on him. He ended up reversing him. He ended up getting takedowns of his own and ended up finishing with a rear naked choke submission in the end. So I like Keelan Salkild. I think he's very, very skilled. He's good at submissions. He's got knockout power. Anshul Jubli just plain sucks. You saw the fight against Mike Breeden where Mike Breeden was screaming at him, screaming his head off at him. Like, I'm not going to go down for you. And
Yeah. That fight against Mike Breeden, man, when he started yelling at him, that like shook him up more than almost anything else. And he didn't even know what to do after that.
In that fight, it was in Abu Dhabi. And I think that Anshul Jubli was supposed to win that fight. I think Mike Breeden was supposed to throw that fight. He didn't throw it. He stuck in there. He didn't lay on the ground after he got knocked down. And he got back up and started fighting the shit out of him and knocked him out. And then he got kicked out of the UFC.
Then he got kicked out of the UFC for it. And Jubli was supposed to be like the Indian Hope. He was really promoted over there. He was like on billboards and the sides of buses and shit. And
yeah, I mean, Anshul Jubli's not bad, but I find he's meh. He's got decent strikes, decent leg kicks, but nothing spectacular, nothing that impresses you. And the fight against Jeka Seregi just really sucked. And got caught with a punch in that one. He got knocked out, ground and pound. He just got sucker punched, and then he jumped, and then Anshul Jubli jumped on him. But he was really not that good. So there's no way that he's going to beat Keelan Salkild. I like Keelan Salkild's skills. He's got knockout power, good submissions. I'm going Keelan Salkild to win by finish, KO or submission in this one.
yeah, the only thing I have to add to this is be like Breeden. Like just put on the pressure, yell at him a bit, throw him off his game, and I really like Salkild in this fight as well. I don't think too much of Jubli. I think he's one of those guys also that will find a way to lose fights. And yeah, so give me Salkild by knockout or sub.
All right, so we're in agreement as well with the second fight of the prelims, Keelan Salkild. All right, let's move on up to the next fight here. We got Kevin Jousset against Jonathan Mikalev. This is going to be a good fight. This should be a banger of a fight. Both of these guys are pretty good. But I'm going to go with Kevin Jousset in this one.
All right, I'm going here. So
your turn. Okay, sorry.
yeah, so Jousset, man, this guy. Now here's a guy that I didn't want to like for a while, and you know what? I still don't like him. But I think he'll have enough to beat Jonathan Mikalar here, who's coming in, I believe, on short notice. Correct me if I'm wrong here. And Giuseppe, I think, will win by keeping him away with those straight kicks, those teep kicks, and pretty accurate shots. And he's a decent sized guy, also. What I think gets could like is a good against Giuseppe. The way to fight him is like to really get in his face and try to rough him up and try to toss him around a little bit, kind of like Brian Battle did. I don't think Mick Kalir is that type of guy. I have here that he's a pretty good scrambler, but I don't see much scrambling going on. Even though I think Jousset has a black belt somewhere there. Is it judo possibly or?
He does have judo, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good at judo down there, but I don't think this is going to be a ground fight at all. I don't think. Um, and I think Jousset's experience is just going to be another factor in this. So give me Jousset with a not so exciting decision here.
Yeah, I've got to go with Kevin Jousset. Jonathan Mikhailov is decent. He's a decent striker. He's not too bad, but he lost in the lower level events against a lower level opponent in Alden Bates, where he got knocked out in that fight. He did come back and win against Matt Val in Hex, and then he got into the Contender Series where he did a decent job against Mohamed Ado, got a submission there, and that's what got him to have this chance to get into the UFC. But he's making his UFC debut. Yes, he's from Australia. It's just that his fighting is not really spectacular. This is a step up in competition for him against
Like
Set.
yeah, like he should try to take him down to get into those scrambles. I don't think, but I don't think he's strong enough to do that to Jousset.
You can see here he's got two knockouts, three subs, two decisions. He's pretty well rounded, but he doesn't have the power that Kevin Jousset has. Kevin Jousset's got some knockout power, and like I said, Jonathan Mikhailov got knocked out by Alden Bates, a lower level fighter than Jousset. So it's a step up in competition. Jousset's been in the UFC, did very well in his UFC debut against Kiefer Crosby, also against Song Kanan. And that's a very good fighter in Song Kanan, and he was able to beat him by unanimous decision. Also, Brian Battle, man, we know how good Brian Battle is. He's a fucking stud in the UFC, and he lost. He got caught with it by knockout, but in that fight, he was doing fairly well and was able to hang with him until he got caught with a knockout. But
Well, I would say Brad Battle was pushing him in around. Once he started doing that, he didn't really have an answer. But Battle's aggressive, man.
exactly, and again, Battle. Okay, first of all, he lost in the late in the second round with that knockout to Battle, but Battle is way, way, way levels above Jonathan Mikhailov here. So this is a step down in competition for Kevin Jousset. I think he easily gets the victory here by KO or decision. I like Kevin Jousset with his very straight punches. He's got judo. He punches very, very straight, very accurate. He's a guy who takes his time, moves around, doesn't get caught with stupid leaving his head open. He's got very good defense. And like I said, his straight punches are going to be able to catch Jonathan Mikhailov. I think he knocks out Jonathan Mikhailov or wins by decision. So, yeah, we're in agreement with the third fight of the prelims here. Nice one. All right. Let's
All
move
right.
on up. The next fight here, we got Cody Steele against Zhu Rong. I'm not going to take too much time on this one. I got Cody Steele. I watched Cody Steele. The guy is fucking athletic. He's phenomenal. He's very, very aggressive. He's got crazy skills, man. He's got power punches. He knocked out Chasen Blair in the Contender Series. Looked really, really good there. In the Fury events, he was knocking everybody out, getting all kinds of finishes. He's got very good power. Rong Zhu just got knocked out in his last fight against Chris Padilla. It was a doctor stoppage, and Chris Padilla is not even known for having much power, and he managed to knock out Zhu Rong. Zhu Rong's also been subbed 4 times. He's got in his 6 losses there, so I like Cody Steele, his aggressiveness. I think he's better on the feet. I think he's stronger, and Zhu Rong, he's just not that great.
Yeah, man, he's been knocked out. How many times did you say, Jurong?
Well, he got knocked out only once, but he lost 4 times
Yeah,
by decision.
yeah, he got subbed 3 times, Rong Zhu. Yeah, something about Rong Zhu. I think it's his second stint in the UFC, and he's not always all that right in the UFC. I don't think this Rong Zhu. Me also, I like Cody Steele. I think he's a very good technical striker, more technical than Rong Zhu. And also, what I love about Cody Steele is the good body shots. He really knows how to work him, and in fact, he got a knockout body shot his last fight. And I think Rong Zhu also. I think it's a possibility that he hurts this guy to the body. Yeah, give me Cody Steele in this one. I'm just gonna go with decision or knockout.
Yeah, same here. Decision or knockout for Cody Steele. I think he steals this one. No pun intended. All right. Moving on to the next fight here, we got Colby Thickness against Alexandre Topuria.
All right, so Alexandre Topuria is the brother of Ilya Topuria.
Yep.
And look, from what I've seen, man, he's green in the game itself, but he does train. I know this doesn't mean much when you look at the brothers of some good guys like Gilbert and Herbert Burns, for example. But you'd think some of that will rub off on Alexandre Topuria here. Seems to have good enough striking, good power, and I don't know about his ground game too much, but if he learned a lesson or two from his brother, then you'd think
Oh, he could grapple. He could grapple.
he could. Yeah, I'm sure he could. And Colby Thickness, when the first time I saw this guy, I thought he was 50 years old.
Yeah.
Doesn't he look like he looks withered and shop worn and I know he has toughness and there you go. He doesn't look particularly that young in that picture either and it shows to be 25 there. Um, Look, man, it's short notice for Colby Thickness here. I think I think it's a safe bet to pick Alexandre Topuria here. So yeah, I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to correct you earlier. Jonathan Mikhailov is not coming in on short notice there.
He's not. Okay, so my bad there.
Yeah, the short notice fight is actually
It's this one.
one here. Yeah, so Colby Thickness is coming in on short notice because Topuria was supposed to fight Cody Haddon, and then that fight got canceled. So
Okay.
now he's facing Colby Thickness on coming in on short notice here. Like you said, he is the brother of Ilya Topuria. He's got very good grappling. He's got good wrestling skills. He trains with Ilya Topuria, of course, which you'll see when you watch this event that Ilya will be in his corner. So training with a star like Ilya, that right there, that's really good. You have this guy in your camp there, training.
You'd think so. You'd think so.
And he's been looking good. These guys from Georgia, these guys are tough, man. These guys are very, very tough, strong guys. As you can see, he's got 5 wins. They're all by submission. You can see he's got 3 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's going to be very, very tough, and he's very, very powerful with his striking. In the lower level events, he's been knocking everybody out and subbing everybody. Like I said, he's a finisher. I like the way he looks when he fights, man. I think he's very skilled. I think he's just like his brother there. He's got some very good skills. I think he beats Kobe Thickness on short notice here.
I have to mention some of these guys though that he's been fighting. Uh, okay, Kobe Thickness is undefeated, so we have another potentially undefeated guy after this fight. But he faced a guy that was 7-18 not too long ago.
Yeah, also a guy that was 1-9. I do see
Yeah,
that he's been fighting some, but again, these are lower level events. But again, he's smashing these guys around. Um, you know,
yeah.
uh,
He's doing what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I think he beats Colby Thickness as well. The Golden Boy here on short notice. I don't know about that. So yeah, there you
all
go.
right, we're in agreement again with the next fight here. So that's 4 fights that we are in agreement with, 5 fights that we're in agreement with so far in the prelims. Looking good. I like that. All right, moving on up to the next fight. Oh yeah, we got the Joker Kong Wang versus Bruna Brazil, the special one. In this one here, I got to go with Wang Gang, baby. I'm sticking with Kong Wang. I'm gonna roll with her. I'm gonna ride with her again this time. Um, she got caught, unfortunately, against Gabrielle Fernandez. I had Gabrielle Fernandez as a dog play in that event when she faced her. And what ended up happening in that fight was Kong Wang was a little too overzealous. She was too confident in herself.
Overconfident, walked right into that power shot, man. You just can't do that against Fernandez that does have some power.
Exactly. Fernandez just caught her, clipped her, and then she went down. And then before she had the time to recover, Gabrielle Fernandez hopped on her and submitted her with a rear naked choke. But in this one here, I think that she's going to be a bit more calculated this time around. Now she's 5'7". She's got the 1 inch height advantage over Bruna Brazil. As far as the reach is concerned, she's got a 1 inch reach advantage, so nothing significant there. But Bruna Brazil's been looking pretty decent fighting out of the Fighting Nerds. She is one of the successful women in the Fighting Nerds. In her last fight, she beat Molly McCann by unanimous decision. But she did lose to Luma Lukbumi, who was a midget there, a really, really small girl there, and lost to Denise Gomez by knockout. So we can see that anybody who's got power can knock her out. And, Kong Wang has been knocking people out left and right in the lower events and also in her UFC debut. She knocked out Victoria Leonardo in that fight. So I think that Kong Wang could take this one. I think that she's a little bit faster. Not to mention Bruna Brazil's moving up in weight, so Kong Wang should be the bigger fighter in this one. Kong Wang was a strawweight moving up to Bruna Brazil is moving up in weight from strawweight to flyweight. And so Kong Wang should be the bigger fighter in this one, and I think she'll be a little bit quicker and a bit more powerful. And as long as she fends off some takedowns there, I think she'll be able to land some very good punches and maybe even knock out Bruna Brazil or win by decision. So I got Kong Wang winning by KO or decision in this one.
Yeah, that wasn't a very smart way that Kong Lang lost that fight. Very dumb. But I like the fact that she's getting in here shortly after that fight just to turn things around. And yeah, man, she has decent power. She can knock people out. And what I've always thought about Bruna Brazil, man, she doesn't have power. And I didn't even think she was strong in the lower weight class. So I think for sure she's going to be weak in this weight class. Not to mention she's very hittable. What she does have is volume on her side, but she doesn't have the power that hurt Kong Wang against Fernandez the last time. And I still have hopes for Kong Wang, man. She provides a little excitement, and I think she will end up knocking out Bruna Brazil here. So Kong Wang, man, let's go.
All right, man. We're rocking with Kong Wang Gang over here. We're with Gang Wang here, Wang Gang. All right, so let's move on up to the next fight. So that's 6 fights now that me and you are in agreement with. This is looking really good. All right, let's move on up to the next one here. We got Tom Nolan, Big Train versus Vyacheslav Borshev, Slava Claus.
Uh,
And for this one here, is it my
I
turn?
no.
You go for it.
Yeah, so I know you're dying to get in there so you can pick Santa Claus here, but I'm going with the dog in Tom Nolan here. Uh, I think Borshev, for whoever says he's good, I think he's overrated. I don't. I think every time he's in a fight, man, he gets rocked, and not only that, it seems the fights he wins, he has to get rocked on the feet before he actually gets his striking going. Like at his best, he's very good, and I like some of the combos he throws and his snappiness. But man, the guy can't stop takedowns. The guy tries to get up. He does sometimes when he has energy, but a lot of times he can't get up, and it's one of his weaknesses, Santa Claus. So what I think is going to happen is Tom Nolan, using his reach, is going to pepper Borshev from afar. And not only that, I think Tom Nolan's going to try a couple takedowns. Like that's all it takes. And that's what I expect from him. And as a prize for him for that, I'm telling you, he's going to get one of those two takedowns. That will help him a lot, get some top control. Give me some nice heavy ground and pound on Borshev there. Because we've seen Borshev take a lot of ground and pound damage over his career. So I don't have much confidence in Borshev moving forward at 8-4. I think Tom Nolan, his only loss was against Moda. Uh,
Against Moda, yeah.
by knockout. And one thing, man, you gotta give Moda. He does have that knockout power, and he caught him with that big overhand right. Borshev is more technical, but Moda is a little more unorthodox, and that's what caught Tom Nolan. So don't judge the big train by that. Judge the big train by what he's gonna do to Borshev on Saturday, and that is ground and pound knockout of bloodied Santa Claus.
All right, man. This is going to be a close fight, man. I really do think it's going to be a close fight. But like Andy O says, a lot of the times those losses come from somewhere. The guy's got 8 wins and 4 losses, so we're talking half of his fights are losses here. 4 losses and 8 wins. You know what I mean? So it's like 50% of his fights there that he lost, right? So
And all of those wins are against guys that posed zero takedown threat, or the guys that you said should try a takedown, they just didn't against him. Like Tom Nolan, I think, man, you could try a couple takedowns here. Although I think you can beat him on the feet too.
not to mention also Vlachislav is beating guys like James Lontop by split decision. James Lontop, who's not the greatest fighter there. He's losing to Chase Hooper, got submitted by him,
He got beaten up bad by Chase Hooper.
and also lost to Mike Davis. And he knocked out Mahashate Hayasayer, who's really not that great either. You know what I mean? So, but Tom Nolan, however, has been looking pretty good. Other than that knockout that he got caught by Nicholas Mota, he beat Bogdan Grad, who we saw last week how good he looked in the fight night in Saudi Arabia. He also knocked out Victor Martinez and got a unanimous decision on Alex Reyes, who's also pretty decent. So Tom Nolan looks good, man. He's going to be packing a 4-inch height advantage. He's 6'3". Right here on the SureDog, they got it wrong here. They're having him at 6'2", but he's actually 6'3". So he's going to have a 4-inch height advantage, and he's also going to have a astounding 5-inch reach advantage.
This is going to be the tallest and longest guy Santa Claus has fought. So,
So
yeah.
a 4-inch reach advantage, 73-inch reach for compared to 69, and 6'3" to 5'11". So he's got a 4-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. I think that's going to be significant for Tom Nolan to fight at a distance, and he's
Yeah.
good at keeping his distance. He's good at with leg kicks. He's good at jabbing and good striking. Borshev is a guy who is also starting to go on the downhill, I find. Lately, like you said, he's been pretty slow in there. He's got some good, decent kicks, but he's going to have to try to get in close to Tom Nolan to land any kind of hard punches or anything like that. So I feel like Tom Nolan is the better fighter. He's the younger fighter here at 24 years old. Borshev is 33, so it's almost 10 years difference there in age. And like I said, Tom Nolan hits very hard. I think he could outstrike Borshev on the feet.
He just has to watch out for settling into Borshev's preferred range. Somehow get lulled into that range that Borshev is really good in. He's got to really be mindful of that range he can establish. So
Yeah.
yeah, Tom Nolan knockout, big train.
As long as he keeps the distance and starts peppering shots from a distance, leg kicks, and like you said, even if he doesn't get a takedown, if he could try to at least fake for a takedown, that'll keep Borshev on his toes and will prevent him from trying to attack and strike the way he wants to if he feels threatened by the submission by the takedowns. Just like Chase Hooper did, he was able to take him down in that fight along with Mike Davis. So when guys are threatening the takedowns, or at least attempting to, it kind of puts Borshev off guard, catches him off guard, and then it allows Tom Nolan to land better shots too by threatening the takedown. So I think Tom Nolan should win this one by KO or decision. I agree with you in this one. It's going to be a close fight though. All right, now we're getting to the main event of the prelims here. If you guys haven't already, please like and subscribe. We got Jack Jenkins against Gabriel Santos. Man, in this one, man, I like Jack Jenkins. He's pretty good, but Gabriel Santos is a piece of work, man. This guy here is quick. He's fast. He's got a variety of ways to win. He's good on the feet. He's got good punches, very good leg kicks, good takedowns. He's got submissions. He's got knockout power. Man, you name it. The guy has got it. And so I'm going to go with Gabriel Santos to win here. I think that he's just a step above in skill set compared to Jack Jenkins. Jack Jenkins, he's like, all he has is kicks, really. I mean, he kicks and kicks and kicks, occasionally throws some punches, nothing with accuracy. He moves around kind of slow in there too. He trods away. but Gabriel Santos, he's got very good submissions and very good takedowns. I think that Jack Jenkins doesn't look that good. His takedown defense isn't that great, and he doesn't look that good when he's on his back when he gets taken down. I think Gabriel Santos will take him down, get on top of him, do some ground and pound, or maybe even latch in a submission. So I'm going to go with Gabriel Santos to win by submission. I think he actually latches in a sub here against Jack Jenkins. And Jack Jenkins has been subbed 2 times already out of his 3 losses.
I think this is a good comeback fight for Jack Jenkins. I know that Santos is very, very well rounded, but I really think Jack Jenkins has learned from his fights that he's had, including that knockout loss to Chepe Mariscal. But it was good for him to face a dog like that, right? So I think fights like that are a learning experience. But above all else, man, I think those low calf kicks are going to cause a world of hurt for Santos here. And I think that's just going to be the lead up to everything else. I think, Santos may be better almost everywhere if you look at it that way. But I think the boxing by Jenkins is pretty good. And once his leg is all smashed up, he's going to work that in there. So give me a win for Jack Jenkins. I don't know how yet, but I'm looking for the upset here for Jack Jenkins. There's a reason. There's a reason this fight is the main eventing the prelims here. We're looking for a Jack Jenkins comeback.
Yeah, well, the thing is that also I forgot to mention Gabriel Santos is going to have a 2-inch height advantage on Jack Jenkins there. Also a 2-inch reach advantage on Jack Jenkins. So I think
That's okay.
I think that's going to help out as well. I just think Gabriel Santos is just a little bit better overall. I think that Jack Jenkins is more of a one-trick pony. And he doesn't really have much grappling. So
sometimes it takes that one trick to make you a one-legged man.
So the one disagreement we have here in the entire prelims, like and subscribe, folks. There you have it. Our early predictions for the prelims. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the early predictions and breakdowns for the main card. Peace out, folks. KAMMA.